Good morning. Now we shall continue the topic where we had left in earlier class. So we were seeing reactance relay. Okay. So we had made this restraining voltage restraining as 0. Okay. So reactance relay is an directional restraint over current relay. Yes. And we had used this equation. Okay. So you can see that there is interaction with voltage and current, okay, to get the torque angle 90 degree. So to get the torque angle 90 degree, okay, we had taken that and we had come to a conclusion that XR is less than X set. So we have already seen this. So this is a constant, so it is X set, and since okay, sine theta is taken as 90 degree here, okay, so that is why it is sine 90 is maximum, that is constant. So and since it is taking care of only reactance, okay, you are taking a constant only reactance, so this line is there, so there is no R element here, okay, there is no R element, and we came to know that whatever is below this, okay, if XR is, if it is less than X set, it will trip. Okay, so the disadvantage was it was tripping in the negative direction also, that is the disadvantage. Now suppose if you take this as an okay line fault characteristics, so we know that this is line fault characteristics, okay, then it will operate, it will consider only reactance, it will neglect R because it cannot sense the R. So below this value it will operate. So this is the meaning, but the disadvantage is it will operate, it doesn't have any directional feature. Okay, so why it is used then? To overcome the arc resistance. So the problem of arc resistance is overcome by reactance relay. The directional feature is overcome in Moore relay, which we are going to see in this video. Okay, now if tau is not equal to 90, what if, see, we have considered that tau is 90, but what if it is not 90? If it is not 90 degree, then this will not be a straight line or parallel to R axis, okay, it will be something like this, okay, it will be something like this. So it will be slant because there are two angles now, since if it is not 90 degree, theta and tau will come into picture, okay, so those, since it is dependent on two angles, it will be slant. So if tau is not 90, then operating line, okay, operating line, this is our operating line right now. If it is not 90 degree, this will be our operating line. So operating line will not be okay parallel to real axis, and it is called as angle impedance. So since you need to remember the terms, I have written this, okay, so then this is called as angle impedance. So we'll see further how it works actually. Okay, so the working is drawn here, it is simple. Okay, so it is used by constructing using induction cup. Induction cup is used here because it has less inertia, okay, it has less inertia, so it acts instantaneously compared to your disc type. So there are 4 coils here, we have named it 1 2 3 4. So first and third are polarizing current coil, and fourth is restraining pressure coil, so it is making an opposite torque. So operating torque is produced by current coil. Okay, so why are polarizing current coil are required, we will see. Polarizing means giving a particular direction. Okay. See, when the current flows, okay, this the same current will flow in polarizing current, in operating coil, and in another polarizing current. So the same current will flow, but there is an phase difference created, because in order to have an operating torque, okay, operating torque, we need the difference in current, because operating torque is produced when there is a difference in flux. So these two will produce a flux, and this will also produce a flux. Those should not be in phase. If they are in phase, there is no interaction, there is no rate of change of flux. So if you want to have a rate of change of flux, you need to create a difference in these two. Okay, these two anyhow they are same, but these two currents flux you have to make a difference. To make a difference, we have R and C. So by varying R and C, you know R and C, RC is okay a time constant. You can delay the time current coming here, delay the current coming over here. So C means obviously it will come first here. Okay, means you are definitely creating a phase difference. Because of that phase difference, there is a operating torque produced. Okay, this is how operating torque is produced. And we have one more fourth coil, which is our restraining pressure coil. Okay, see here, operating torque is produced here. Okay, and this is the restraining torque. So this is torque is positive and this is more than this. Okay, so your restraining torque is a product of voltage and current. Okay, product of voltage and current. So this is voltage, and of course this is the current. So polarizing current, okay, whatever the current is coming here is not delayed with the actual current. So there is a flux produced by polarizing current, which is interacted with the, okay, there is one more current called IV. IV is what? Proportional to voltage, correct? Proportional to voltage. So this is a flux produced due to voltage, this is a flux produced due to current. That interaction will have happen. Okay, and if you want to have, okay, phi is equal to 0, means tau is equal to 90. Okay, when will you have this kind of angle? Okay, phi is equal to 90 means this is voltage, this is current. So there is no angle between these two. When there is no angle between these two, that can be done by having R greater than XL. So it will have its own XL. Yes. So compared to this XL, this resistance whatever you are using is much greater. So once it is too high, okay, there is no phase difference. Once there is no phase difference, you will get tau is equal to 90 degree. Okay, tau is equal to 90 degree, because voltage and current here, okay, that is tau, correct? Voltage and current here, that is tau. So using this R, you can vary. Okay, you can vary. So this is your voltage, you can vary here. So current will be lagging in inductive coil, so you can vary this. Since you can vary, you can have this blue line, you can have a slant line of any angle. Okay, so this is how the this is how it operates. So hope you have understood, but nevertheless I'll just repeat it now. Okay, fine. See, the polarizing coils 1 and 3 interact with the operating current coil 2 to produce operating torque. Is it clear? So operating torque is produced by interaction between polarizing coil, current coil and operating current coil. So to provide proper phase difference between polarizing coil and operating coil, a capacitor in series with resistor is connected across the operating current coil. Restraining force means it's an opposition, okay, is produced due to interaction of polarizing coil 1 and 3 with restraining pressure coil, which is 4, okay. So that is how you are producing the restraining force. So restraining force, so having a large resistance, large value of resistance is connected in series with the pressure coil, so that current through the pressure coil will be in phase with voltage, so that you get tau equal to 90 degree. So this is what is all about the build or the construction of the reactance, yes, the reactance relay. Now we will see further its applications and its advantages and differences. So now let us see the performance of this relay under different operating conditions, okay. So first we will see under normal operating conditions, okay, performance of this relay under normal operating conditions, okay. So we have we have characteristics something like this, okay. So this is R, this is X, so this is the relay characteristics, okay, this is the relay characteristics. So this is the X set, okay, and this is the line characteristics, okay. Let me take it as this color. So this is the line characteristics. Do you agree? Line fault characteristics. Fine. Now we have, this is the transmission line length up to where this can operate, okay. So it will operate till A to B. So this is called as forward direction. In forward direction it will operate, but in a reverse direction it will operate for the entire line. In forward direction it will operate only up to point B, because it will sense only X. See, this is the relay characteristics, this is the line fault line characteristics, okay. So it will sense up to this reactance and it will operate, so it will not operate beyond. But the disadvantage of this relay is it is operating for entire negative direction, so that is the disadvantage, okay. This is one thing, okay, one thing what you have to note down. So it will operate, if I want to summarize, I'll write it. It will operate for faults up to B in positive direction and complete line in negative direction, okay. So since I want to highlight only the above line with this line, and let me make it white, okay. Now one more thing, okay. Since in double fed line means both side, when there is a generator, generally, okay, in normal conditions, okay. So this is also a normal condition, okay. This is fault line. This is what it has to operate during normal fault. But sometimes when there is no fault, during normal operating conditions, the resistance is high when there is unity power factor. Generally normal load condition, okay, so this is normal load condition, means when there is no fault. Generally normal load condition is something like this, okay. So during unity power factor, when your load is normal, okay, so here somewhere your R will be X will be very less because it is unity power factor, and this relay will see this also as a fault condition because, okay, this is your operating region, correct. Here it operates, here it operates, and here also it operates. So this entire region below this, it simply operates. So this point, which is normal load, okay, at a unity power factor, then your relay will trip, which is undesired, which is what we do not need. So if I want to summarize, if I want to write it, okay, under normal, okay, load for double fed system, okay, when the supplies from both side at near unity power factor, okay, load, your R is much greater than X. Do you agree? Unity power factor, so implies, okay, implies normal load seen by relay comes under the operating region. So your relay will maloperate. So your relay will maloperate. Okay, so relay will maloperate. To avoid this, extra relay is required, okay, to check whether it is actually fault or normal load. So this is the disadvantage, okay. To avoid this, you need an extra relay to check whether the actual whether it is an actual fault or the normal load. So this is used in conjunction with more relay or directional relay. So if you have a directional element like this, okay, this will be eliminated, and if you have a more relay will be something like this, okay. We'll see it in our next class. So when we have characteristics like this, within this only it will operate. So you are avoiding this, so did you understand? This problem is avoided by directional feature, and this problem is avoided by using more relay. So this relay, okay, that is reactance relay, is used in conjunction with more or, okay, directional relay. Therefore it is used in conjunction with directional relay or more relay, okay. Did you get it? Now we will see another case, another operating condition, that is our power swing. So when we have power swing, for power swing we had this diagram, you remember, okay. So this is ZSA, this is EA at an angle delta, okay. This is the transmission line impedance ZL, okay. And we have in a double fed system, okay, we have EB at an angle operating at an angle theta, and this is ZSB, okay. So we have seen this, and of course there is an relay here, IR, and it is also taking VR. So we have a relay here, okay, and this is our characteristics. Yes, you got it, right? Now this is our X set, and it will operate below this point. So this is our reactance relay. Okay, now what we'll have is, okay, this is our operating line, fault line. Okay, for that we will add, for that we will have to add, see, during power swings, okay, the entire, during power swings, power will, when will power swing will happen? Okay, when a major generating station is not in synchronism, is or out of the system, or major tie line is out of the system. In that case, current will be high. Okay, and in that case delta and theta will also vary. In that case delta and theta will also vary. So what will happen, impedance seen by the line is totally different. Okay, it is less, it is not this impedance, sorry, it is not this impedance. What impedance seen is totally different. So ZSB, okay, ZSB is beyond ZL, correct, and before, in opposite direction, this is where the relay, so in reverse direction this is there, so in reverse direction ZSA, so this is beyond. Okay, because your relay is here, it is meant to operate till here, so it is beyond, so that's why it is beyond. Okay, and in that case reactance is generally high, so that's why we have taken, okay, exactly in parallel. Okay, so the resultant will be something like this. Okay, so now this is your electrical center. Okay, electrical center, the same case, the one which we have analyzed in, okay, your impedance relay also, so the same thing is analyzed in your distance, reactance relay. So this is your electrical center. Now what is your okay, what is the power swing? Power swing is the locus of, so this is the line of locus of power swing. So during power swing it will come in contact with this. Whenever there is a power swing, means there is large power variation, and during that variation it may come in this range. Yes, see, power is varying means what, it might be at this point or this point or here also. When it comes in contact with this, okay, your relay will trip. So your relay will even vary for slight variations. Your relay will operate for slight variations in power swing. Even small power swings happens, maybe due to transients. Okay, your relay will maloperate. So this is also undesirable. This is a drawback actually. So the relay is more sensitive to, okay, the relay is more sensitive to power swings. Okay, the relay is more sensitive to power swings. So now let us see another operating condition, that is effect of arc resistance. So now we will see the effect of arc resistance. So this is the only advantage here, that is it is independent of effect of arc resistance. How we'll see it. So this is our correct operating area, this is our X, so this is our X set, so X measured below the X set. Okay, and let me suppose this is my, fine, this is point AB. So what is this? Line fault characteristics, line fault characteristics. So this is the characteristic of relay. Okay, Now if there is an arc, so arc resistance, whenever there is an arc resistance, fault will have some arc resistance. Okay, why that is arc resistance is there? See, whenever there is a line to ground fault, it will happen due to insulation failure. Okay, very rare case when line will actually cut and falls to the ground. So it is actually insulation failure most of the cases. When most of the cases insulation failure, okay, the ground resistance is added. Okay, the path of current flowing through that insulator to the ground with some wire, it will have resistance, so that resistance is added. We actually have neglected that, but when there is a fault it will be added. So this is that resistance, because this is our resistance line. Okay, so instead of zero resistance it will have some resistance, and your now actual line will be, of course again fault will have its own impedance. So for this resistance the impedance is added, or this earlier impedance, this resistance is added. Now since it is cutting at this point, so let me call it as C. Now this is our arc resistance. Okay, parallelogram. Okay, opposite sides are equal. So this is our BC, which is arc resistance. Okay, but see, you can see if when you compare to impedance relay, there was an underreach due to arc resistance. There is no underreach. Again still it is reaching the same point B only. Okay, in impedance it was reaching here. So this was the impedance what it was protecting. This is the line of line length what it was protecting up to here. Okay, there was an underreach, you remember it, right? But here it is still protecting up to the line AB only. Why? Because okay, even though this is our impedance, now the impedance has changed, but this relay will not measure impedance, it will measure only reactance. So again reactance is what? This much only, correct? Whether the impedance is this much, again the reactance is this much only. So everywhere the reactance is same here. So reactance part is same, resistance part may be added, but it will not measure the resistance, it will consider only the impedance. So because of that, the effect of arc resistance is not there, because okay, the relay measures only the reactance. Okay, so this is the arc resistance. So since it measures only reactance, again reactance is this only. So this is the point up to AB, it will protect. So there is no underreach problem. So this is the only advantage, but there are many other disadvantages like power swing. Okay, and normal load is considered as fault, so because of which, or it will also operate for reverse. So there are disadvantages. So to overcome those disadvantages, we have to use different relays in combination with this reactance relay. What are those? One is directional relay you have to use, and another is Moore relay to overcome these problems. But there is no problem. The problem of arc resistance is overcome in this. Okay, so this is the only advantage. So if you want to avoid measurement of arc resistance, we go for this relay, that is reactance relay. Now we will see Moore relay. So now we will see Moore relay, or it is also called as admittance relay. So this is our universal torque equation: K1 IR square plus K2 VR square plus K3 VR IR cos theta minus tau plus K4. So here to get admittance relay or Moore relay, we create this as 0. Okay, and K2 term and K4 term as negative, that is these are restraining terms, okay, and this term we keep it positive, okay. So this is our operating force. If it is positive, it means it is our operating force, and K2 and K4 are restraining force, and we are not having any current thing, okay, fine. So so before going through this, you should have gone through directional relay, okay. Directional relay is done in previous chapter, okay. If possible, I'll revise it here if time permits, otherwise you will have to go through the first chapter again to see the directional relay. It was discussed there, okay. So since we have made K3 positive, so this term positive, so this term we have, and K4 negative we have it, and K2 also negative we have it, and there is no K1 term since we have made it 0. So this is our directional relay, that is our directional relay. If you have already learnt, okay, you will understand that is this is the term. So this is our directional relay, that is it is an operating torque, and this is the restraining torque. So Moore relay is a voltage restraint directional relay. So Moore relay is nothing but voltage restraint directional relay. So it is a directional relay basically, but you have some restraints here. There was no restraint, there was no limitations. Now you are limiting it by some term, okay. So how that term will be a different from directional relay, we will see it. So directional relay is only this much. For that we have adding some restraining term. So when torque will be positive, when this term is greater than this, right, that is positive should be more than negative term, then only your torque will be positive. So this is there, okay. So this is greater, and if I move this the other side, okay, I'll get minus K4. So this should be less than this, okay, yes. So this is positive term, this is negative term, whole combined together should be less than your restraining force, then only your T will be positive. Now there is a small mathematical substitutions. What I do is I'll divide throughout by K2 VR IR. So divide throughout the equation K2 VR IR. So here K2 get cancels, okay, and one VR and another VR cancels. So VR by IR remains here, okay. K3 VR IR, sorry, K2 VR IR is divided, so K2 remains, VR IR cancels, okay, and here K4 K2 VR IR is divided, okay. So since this term, voltage term and current term, they are high compared to spring torque or spring restraint, it is very less, K4 is very less. So since it is numerator is less compared to denominator, it is approximately 0, so we can neglect this. So only this term continues. So we have VR by R is nothing but ZR. So since this is ZR, we can make this constant as Z, okay. Now you can see it is different from your distance relay, that is impedance relay. So in impedance this was there, now you are adding one more extra term. So if you add different values of theta and tau, okay, you will get actually circle, okay, you will get actually a circle. So how it is, so we have this is as x, okay, let me draw it again, this as x, this as r, okay. Fine. Now this is due to our directional relay. As I said, for directional relay, okay, for directional relay you are adding voltage restraint. So for this directional relay, okay, exactly this is what line it is, zero torque line, this is zero torque line, okay. To understand this you have to understand the directional relay. So for this exactly at 90 degree you have maximum torque angle line, MTA line, okay, which is making some tau, Okay, tau is maximum torque angle. Okay, so it is directional now. So only this side it will operate, the other side it will not operate. So it is a directional relay. Okay, so this is what you have learnt in directional relay. So this is how much what you have learnt in directional relay. But now due to this negative term, this is negligible. Due to this negative term, okay, due to this negative term, okay, you are limiting it to certain area, okay, and that area is given by a circle. As I already said, okay, if you substitute values of theta and tau, different values here, okay, it will be a circle because it is a cos. Cos is a complete cycle. Okay, cos is a complete cycle, so it will have a curve. Now you can see, since it is directional, whereas in case of impedance it was covering all four quadrants, now it is covering only maximum portion is covered only in first. So this is due to R2 VR square. Okay, so that is summarized here. This is summarized. So this is our, okay, fault characteristics. Fault characteristics. So this is our theta. Okay, now you go on changing tau. When tau is equal to theta, when tau is equal to theta, so it is cos 0. So cos 0 is maximum. So means when they are equal, it is maximum, right? So when theta and tau are equal, it is maximum. When it varies, when tau varies, okay, this maximum torque line will go on varying, okay, and it is in 90 degree with the, okay, perpendicular to the directional element, that is 0 torque line. Okay, so how you are going to vary this torque, we will see using constructional features. We will understand the construction of this Moore relay. So this is Moore relay. Okay, so this is due to restraining, that is V square K2 V square. Okay, so what was happening without that restraining, that is a restraining element, without this K2 VR square in directional relay, it was operating completely. The complete line, transmission line was being operated. Now you are limiting it to certain area or certain length by having this restraint. So restraint means limiting it to have for certain length, and that is small. Okay, it is small compared to impedance. See, in impedance relay, the diameter of the, okay, the diameter of the circle was, okay, the length, sorry, the radius was the length of the transmission line here, but it is diameter, so hence it is divided by 2. Since, okay, here the radius is, okay, radius is half of the total diameter. There the radius was itself is the length. Now the radius is half of the length. Since radius is half of the length, the circle is, or the area covered is very less. The area covered is very less. Okay, so the construction features and different operating conditions we will analyze further. So how to vary torque, this tau, and why this circle is less, all those things, analysis part and construction features part we will see in the next class.